So anyway, I've got this e-bike, which is behind me, which is by this German company called Ries and Müller Yoga, and it's an amazing piece of kit. It's got a 200 and, no, let me get this right. It's got 285 watt bish bash bosh engine in it, right? And then it's got this 3000 amp, what the fuck, lithium, no, it's not lithium, it's some other drug, sertraline, that's right, it's a sertraline battery, which is like good for, I don't know, about 7 hours or something. And the range is unbelievable. They reckon you can go, I think it's 9 miles if you've got like minimum power on it, and you can go like 4 miles if you've got maximum power. So I think it's absolutely transformed my life. I do all my chores on it. I go everywhere on it as long as it's not more than 2 miles away. I do my shopping on it. I take my kids to school because it's got like a basket in the front that you can put your kids in. I take my cats to the vet because it's got like a basket in the front that you can put your cats in. I take my granddad for his hospital appointments because it's got like this basket in the front that you can put your granddad in. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing piece of kit, and it's so cheap. I think it was 11,000 euros, something like that, and then 14,000 to import it, because obviously it comes from Germany where all the e-bikes are made. And the thing about e-bikes is I think it's transformed the urban environment, because why would you need to use a car? Why would you need to get a bus? Why would you need to get a train when you could just use your e-bike, as long as you weren't going more than 2 miles, obviously? And the amazing thing is, right, the modern e-bikes, the one that they're coming out now with Ries and Müller Yoga, they don't use any electricity, okay? Because as you know, all of the electricity in the Western world is going to run out in 2025. So what we've been told by the government here in the United States of Kingdom, they've said, look, you might as well use up all the electricity that you can while you've got it. So what they're doing is they're flooding the market, right? They're flooding the market with these e-bikes, because they're saying, look, don't use your own energy. Don't use your own mode of transport. Use the e-bike. You see, I mean, I'm thinking, why don't they put like another 2 wheels on, right? So you've got 4 wheels, and then like a proper seat and maybe a steering wheel and a roof. And then you'd have like an e-bike, which was almost a car. I mean, why has nobody thought of that? And you can have e-cars, electric cars. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me. There's this kid, this kid lives a few doors down from me. He's like 13 or something. I mean, he is a fat bastard. I mean, no 2 ways about it. Because the thing is, right, ever since the age of 3 months, he's just sat on the sofa playing this Call of Duty thing on the computer, right? So he's like Call of Duty, he's like a mercenary in Ukraine or something like that, shooting up, you know, all the Russians. I mean, the guy ain't going to get called up in a million fucking years. I mean, his legs are atrophied. I mean, he's got no muscles. He's got massive muscles in his fingers because he's doing all the stuff with the controllers. You know what I mean? But apart from that, I mean, he's just a slob. He's like, you know, in the kingdom of the slob, right? The 2 slob man is the king. He is the 3 slob man, right? He's like God slob. So I was talking to his mother, right? I was talking to his mother. She was in the supermarket buying this great big 10-kilogram bag of oven chips, because that's all he eats, because he's on the sofa all the time playing these games. I said, look, why don't you get him an e-bike? Because then he can go out and he can get a bit of exercise. He can lose all of that flab. He can start growing some muscles again. He can start contributing to society by using up the electricity, which is about to run out. So they got him this e-bike, and my God, it's transformed his life. I mean, he still sits on the sofa, okay? He's still playing Call of Duty, okay? But he looks at that bike, and the way he looks at it, and I mean, it brings tears to your eyes. It really does. He looks at that e-bike like it's I don't know, like it's a girl. Do you know what I mean? Like a Call of Duty girl, if they had such a thing. And he looks at it like that. I mean, he doesn't go anywhere on it. Of course he doesn't. He can't fucking move his legs. He can't get off the couch. They need a hoist to get him up into the bar so he can play Call of Duty in the bar. But he's transformed his life. And I'll tell you something else. I was watching on YouTube, right, and I think it may have been Denmark, may have been India, it was some third world country anyway. And what they have is they've got these e-cargo bikes, right? And I saw this video, and the guy's riding an e-cargo bike. Okay, he's got like a 3-seat sofa on his head. He's got like a 50-inch telly in this sort of basket at the back, and he's balancing, right? He's balancing a fridge on his right hand, and he's balancing a dishwasher. I mean, I didn't know they had dishwashers in India and Denmark, but there you are. And he's balancing this dishwasher on his left hand, and he's riding this e-bike along the street. I mean, obviously it's not an e-bike because they haven't got electricity in these countries, because we've got all of it. So it's really just a mechanical cargo bike, but it's like an e-bike. And he's kind of painted, it's a bit sad really, but he's painted e-bike on the side. Do you know what I mean? And he's got like his cardboard tube, and he's painted battery on it. So it's a bit sad really, but it looks like he's got an e-bike, so he's been like in the Western world, you know. And you imagine all these poor people in Denmark thinking, well, why can't we have e-bikes as well? I tell you, there's a guy in my cycling club. This is gonna bring a tear to your eye. This is gonna be. I suggest you sit down. You get in floods, and if you've got grandparents, anything like that, I suggest you switch them off if they're on some kind of life support machine, because they're just going to get upset. He's 94. Right, he's old school. Do you know what I mean? Old school. He's like a proper cyclist. You know, he used to wear the woolen shorts. You know, and he still wears the woolen shorts now. You know, he's got these incontinence pants, but he wears these woolen shorts, big shorts over it, and he's got this like woolen cycling top. I mean, it's what is it? San Rafael. Do you remember that big team back in the 60s? Whatever. I mean, it's a bit sad really. But he sits there, and we said to him, Reg, right? I don't know why we call him Reg. His name is actually Matthew. But we said, Reg, mate, we're going to get you an e-bike, and you can still come out on the club run. Oh, you should have seen his eyes light up. I mean, he's blind as a fucking bat, but his eyes, they're still lit up. And we said, you can listen to that thrum of the motor. Oh, the thrum of the motor. I mean, he's deaf as a fucking post. He can't hear a thing. But we said, look, you're going to come out with us on the e-bike. I'm going to take you for a ride like we used to, you know, through the lanes of Kent. We're going to stop at the coffee shop. I mean, because he couldn't go anywhere. I mean, he's in the care. I mean, he's in a fucking wheelchair, can't walk. But we took his bike. You see, we took his bike. I mean, I rode it, of course, and it was a lovely bike. I mean, he must have spent 10 grand on it. I mean, why would you buy an e-bike for 10 grand when you can't get out of the fucking care home? I mean, go figure. But I mean, we take it in to see him regularly, like, you know, we were going hundreds of times. We went once, to be honest. I mean, he's got dementia. He doesn't know whether it's Easter or Christmas. But I tell you, there's a couple of care assistants. They work in this care home. Oh my God, you know, they get like a big throbbing Reese and Muller yogurt motor between their legs. I'll tell you, that battery didn't last 5 minutes. So the e-bike, right, it's transforming Western society. I mean, it would transform Eastern society as well if they could get e-bikes. We've got all the e-bikes. I was reading, I think it was on YouTube, because you get all your facts from YouTube or Google or whatever it is. It Daily Mail sidebar? Apparently Amsterdam, right? You know Amsterdam, the city built on the 7 hills. They have got the biggest collection of e-bikes in the Southern Hemisphere. I couldn't believe it. There are 2 million, get this, 2 million e-bikes in Amsterdam. And you know that girl who's on Eurosport, what's her name, Orla Chenwy, who does the cycling stuff. You don't know what I mean, lads. Right, I mean, she's got 90 e-bikes. I mean, she's sponsored obviously because she's on the telly all the time, but she's always posting these pictures on Instagram when she's riding up the hills in Amsterdam on these e-bikes, and she's got like 2 kids in the front basket, she's got 2 kids in the back basket, she's got 2 kids in the left pannier, she's got 2 kids in the right pannier, she's got kids in each of her pockets. I mean, it's amazing. It's transforming the Western world. It really is. I mean, it's an urban it's an urban miracle. And I hear, like, I mean, you know what's his name? Sadiq Khan, you know Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, not Boris, but the other one, the short one, you know, the little short one, not Rishi Sunak, the other little short one, and what he said, right, is the ULEZ, right, you know the ULEZ, right, ULEZ charge, which applies to cars. What he said is that the ULEZ charge, right, get this, it will not apply to e-bikes so long as they've been bought in the last 3 weeks. Okay, right. So if you rush out now, you go to Halfords or you go to Argos, you get an e-bike, you won't have to pay the ULEZ charge. I saw on YouTube again. Was it Radio Times? I saw this advert in the Radio Times Argos, right? You know Argos, the shop Wilco. Well, you can't get it in Wilco because they've all gone bust. But they do. You know the kids. I think it's called a balance bike or a thing. It's got like stabilizers. You know the little bikes you get for like a 2-year-old. You can get an e-bike for a 2-year-old. You know, they sit on it and you push them along like that. Well, apparently it's got a little motor in it, little motor powered by a little AAA battery, and they can just go off on their own. I mean, they do say you should keep an eye on them, because if they go over the pedestrian crossing, they go into the traffic, I mean, boom, I mean, that's your kid gone, isn't it? But at least, I mean, if it's not too damaged, you've got a little kid's e-bike which you could sell on what's it called, Nextdoor. You know, Nextdoor. I used to be on that Nextdoor, West Wickham. Fuck me, the people on there, they make the Daily Mail sidebar, e-bike a Guardian, I tell you. Anyway, that's not what this is about. It's about how e-bikes are transforming people's lives, and I can tell you, it's transformed mine. I can go places, so long as it's not more than 2 miles away, but I can go places on the e-bike I couldn't go and under my own steam, because, you know, what they say is if you've got health issues, right, and you know, like you're fat, you know what I mean, you're lazy, you're a fat, lazy cunt, right, so you've got fat, lazy cunt health issues, right, I've got fat pills, I've got lazy pills, I've got fat, lazy cunt pills, I've got all of the pills, right, and they didn't work, so I went to this hypnotist, right, and the hypnotist was supposed to make me like eager and full of energy and slim and all that kind of stuff, you know, really, really slim and fast, so I could go out on the e-bikes that wasn't more than 2 miles away. And it turned out that the hypnotist, like, she kind of got it backwards. So instead of me ending up thin, she ended up thin. I mean, go figure. She's 3 stone, right? 3 stone. Can you believe it? She's like Karen Carpenter. She can't sing, which is a shame, because, you know, at least you'd have that in your life. So I would say, don't go to a hypnotist. Well, don't go to this hypnotist, which you don't do it anymore. But don't go to the hypnotist. Get yourself an e-bike. Go down to Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's. Other supermarkets are available, and you can get yourself an e-bike for under 10 grand, under 10 grand, and it will transform your life. And you can, instead of taking your kids to school in your great big fuck off 4x4, you can take your kids to school in your great big fuck off 4x4 e-bike, cargo bike with the motor, and you know, it's the size of a bloody mobile home, but it's not taking up the traffic. Well, it is taking up the traffic, but it's not taking up the traffic like the car. So actually it does, because it's bigger than the car, but you know what I mean. The e-bike is transforming society. I really think you ought to get one just like the one I've got here, which is the Reese and Muller yogurt, and it's a bish bash bosh motor. That's the one to get, believe me, with the lithium, not the lithium, the sertraline batteries, because they work much better and they give you a smile on your face. I mean, what's not to like? As that bloke said. Who was that bloke anyway? Graham Taylor. What's not to like? Do I not like that? That's what he said. He had an e-bike. And the king, what's his name? King Charles the 27th, he's got an e-bike. Prince Andrew, he's got an e-bike. He uses it to go. Never mind where he uses it to go. William and Kate, they've got e-bikes. Harry and Meghan, they've got e-bikes. George, Charlotte. I mean, they've all got e-bikes. The Duke of Kent, you know, that one you used to see at Wimbledon till he died. He's got an e-bike. I mean, it's the Queen Mother. No, not the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother's dead. But the Queen must have. Does the Queen have a? Who's the Queen? Camilla. Does she have a mother? Is she the Queen Mother? Who knows? Who cares? Get yourself an e-bike. Thanks for watching. See you next time.